Welcome to Meet the Writers. It's January 24th. It's a cold Friday morning, actually now afternoon. We'll get that right. Here in northern Indiana. I'm Nate. This is Ethan. We're going to talk an article that Ethan has written. It's actually a series of 2 articles now.
Yeah.
One that's on the Salcha blog, so you can go and read that right now if you're watching this, and we'll probably post this even in that post. But we're talking Bitcoin, which is all in the news, all over the place.
Yeah.
Davos, the International Economic Forum was happening this week, and I saw it being a several topic of discussion about economics and this digital currency. So let's start with the baseline, because I don't understand Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Give me just the couple sentence description of what Bitcoin is.
Yeah. Bitcoin is essentially the world's first open sourced digital currency. So it has no central governing authority like a traditional currency does.
So we're all saying, look, we trust this digital currency. It's created by a dual encryption key. From my understanding, there's a key that only exists in you, and then there's a key that exists somehow in the digital form that's in the cloud. And then we all then say that is worth something, and they're now exchanging that for other currencies. So there's an exchange rate between the US dollar and the Bitcoin. Currently, I think it's in the 800 plus range. It's gone as high over 1,000 about a year ago.
Too,
a year ago, I think it was under $10. So it's new. How do you acquire Bitcoin?
Well, one way to acquire Bitcoin is by mining it, which is actually how it enters the money supply in the first place. And that's by basically using your computer hardware, and at this point it's got to be pretty advanced stuff.
This isn't just the Dell computer that you buy
without your laptop.
And do it.
Go for it.
This is hard. But when this all started, it was solving equations, which you were about to say, and I cut in.
Yeah.
It's solving equations, and you could have used my laptop to do it.
Exactly.
But now, you're going to drop quite a bit of money into a much more expansive computer.
And the reward is less too. It used to be 50, now it's 25, and it actually halves every so many blocks of Bitcoin are solved.
Yeah. So you're collecting this Bitcoin, but now Bitcoin's out in the wild, and so if I have a Bitcoin locker that I put on my computer, which I can use several different types of them, and that's a little more complicated discussion, but I can actually then receive that Bitcoin for some type of service or product.
Yeah, that's the other way you can get Bitcoin, is just by accepting it as payment. That's what you're seeing a lot of people doing now.
And that is hit the news this week in 2 different ways. Well, in the last several weeks. We'll start with Overstock.com.
Yeah.
They, a few weekends ago, started taking Bitcoin as a payment. What happened there?
Well, that led to speculation about what other major retailers might also start incorporating Bitcoin. And that has Bitcoin supporters excited, because obviously that lends a dose of credibility to them. People are always speculating about Amazon and Apple and Google. And Google's where the blog that I wrote this week comes into play, because a Reddit user actually emailed Google, and it sort of started a chain of emails back and forth, and eventually he got an unofficial, sort of admission that the Google Payments Department is looking into Bitcoin and just sort of thinking about how they could maybe someday possibly, incorporate it into their payments plan.
Yeah. So the next step is, are we in a close proximity of time going to see the small business retail online store, and then maybe even the retail Main Street store accepting Bitcoin?
For now, I think Main Street small business can just sort of be content to follow Bitcoin and just stay up to date on its developments, because it is still developing and it's still sort of maturing and stabilizing. So it's pretty complex to dive into right now, but we can really expect that as it becomes really mainstream, it'll become more simple, more stable, and you'll see more small businesses jump on board, and then you'll know that it's time to take notice.
Yeah. So. And what would you say for those who are watching Bitcoin, kind of watching from a distance and looking at it? Is it an investment opportunity for small businesses that might have a little extra capital and say, I could go and exchange these US dollars that I have in my bank savings account and put it into this digital currency, into Bitcoin?
Yeah. There are those who are advocating it as a store of value, basically. I wouldn't necessarily call it an investment, but if you're worried about your own government's currency, In my personal opinion, your government's currency would have to be pretty unstable for a Bitcoin to be a better option.
So for most of those who
yeah.
are viewing this who are
Yeah.
living in the United States, because that's particularly our
Exactly.
small
Yep.
business owners and managers in the United States, it's
Yeah.
not really a viable investment,
No,
not
at least
a
not
banking
yet.
process for
Yeah,
them.
maybe eventually, but right now, we've seen just in the last few years, we've seen it go up and down. So that's not necessarily a good sign for value store, but maybe in the future.
But it's important to know what's going on and to realize that it is something happening down the pipe. And if you're the first to jump on it when it's ready, if it actually does get to that point and you're the first to do it, there may be some value.
Yeah, exactly.
And so watching it's important.
It's a little risky, but we've all heard the more risk equals more potential for return, and so there's a chance that if you were an early adopter, you could really see some benefits from that.
Awesome. So we're understanding a little bit more about Bitcoin. We're using the Salcha Academy and the Salcha blog to do that. What are our things you're writing right now with Salcha?
Right now, we're writing a lot about the future of retail, especially when it comes to like mobile. You're hearing all these mobile retail startups popping up, especially like in the payments department, like Square and the Coin, which is a single card that allows you to store basically all of your wallet on it. So we've been doing a lot of writing about this area, and it's pretty interesting. So look for those articles coming down the pipe.
Lots of interesting things for you guys to find when you're looking at the Salcha Academy. Guys like Ethan and his team, the team that's working together, they're doing a great job taking real practical comments and commentary and putting together so small businesses like yourselves can really put it into practice. So we'd love to know what you think. Be contacting us. You can interact with us through thesalcha.com, through the message boards. You can also interact with us through social media. I'm NK Manahan. You can contact me anytime, and I'd love to hear from you, or the @Salcha on Twitter and all the different social medias there. We love interacting with you in any way we can. Please engage with us. We'd love that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.